Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Before we proceed, no, this is not another one of those videos that's going to teach you how to get a man, how to make men fall hopelessly in love with you, and provide you with a stable domestic existence. This video is about how to seduce yourself, fall in love with yourself. And then because of that, men will just fall in love with you hopelessly because you're so goddamn self-completed and you don't even need the poor fella. If you have been following me for some time, you know that I believe in self-actualization before self-weaponization, which means that I think that you should take the time to be feminine, to feel beautiful, to be sexy for your own sake, not for anyone else, especially a man. And I certainly do not believe in performative femininity. I do not think that you should adapt feminine tactics in order to get a man, in order to secure a husband. I think that your feminine charms should be used to enchant yourself first, not to manipulate those around you as its sole purpose. Sure, attention from men can help to reaffirm your feminine identity. It does feel nice to be noticed. But being able to look in the mirror and say, I'm so sexy, I'm so beautiful, I feel good, no one can give that to you. And when I say look in the mirror, when I say feel feminine, feel sexy, I'm not really talking about your appearance. I mean a feeling. How you look on the exterior is directly influenced by the interior. It's influenced by your mind. And if you can get things straight up here, then you're golden. Conquering your mind, learning how to feel sexy, feel bold, underlined, italic. Learning how to feel feminine and sexy changes the way that your reflection is going to look in the mirror. When you train your mind to see yourself in a certain way or other people in a certain way, it almost has a hallucinogenic quality. It literally changes the way somebody looks and makes them look more attractive based on how you feel about them or how you feel about yourself. I've said this before and I'll say it a million times. The most famous seducers in history were generally unattractive. They're not known for their looks. They're known for their charisma, for their personality, for their theatricality, elegance, creativity. Those things are most of the time created personas. It's created even out of the most unfavorable circumstances. Now, the habits that I have here, there are only 5 of them. They're simple, as habits often are. They're designed to help you as a woman get intimate with yourself. Too many women are women out of competition with other women. A lot of femininity, I've noticed, is performative, and I know that it is because I've seen the way women look whenever no one is watching, and it makes me sad. Being a woman is a ritual. Those performative aspects, getting ready, putting on perfume, doing your hair, doing your makeup, those things are meant to pay respect to your femininity. It's not meant to make you appear feminine to people. Does that make sense? I feel more women should be women because they appreciate the gifts femininity has to offer. Femininity can just make life more enjoyable every day, more worthwhile. So here are some habits that I think will help you get more in tune with your femininity, that will help you enjoy solitude, enjoy your own presence and silence, that will just make you feel sexy for yourself and for no one else. Number 1, listen to music in the nude or in lingerie, whatever you prefer. Turn on your speakers, put on your favorite record, and just lounge. Lounging, languorousness, it's also feminine. I love it. Obviously, do this when you're alone. This is not supposed to be something that you do for your man. This is not a draw me like one of your French girls moments. This is for you. You may even fall asleep like that, which is nice. But this whole idea of cozying up in your favorite co-ord Skims outfit is getting a little tired and old. Cozying up with a book. Why not turn on some nice lighting, some moody lighting, light some candles, put on some nice jazz or some cool down-tempo music or something like that, and just enjoy being in your body. Look at yourself in the mirror, turn around, really get familiar with yourself. And on that note, and this isn't in a sexual way or anything, touch your skin, awaken your senses. Normally, the way that I would tell people to do this would be every morning to put lotion or oil on your skin, take care of your skin, and actually like do it slowly. Don't do it in a rush, because this way we don't really touch our skin in a very sensual way very often, and lovers do it even less. So I think it's important to be aware of the organ that is protecting you against is this barrier against the world, but it's also your most sensual organ. It's filled with erogenous zones, and in order to awaken those zones, you're supposed to know where they are, know what feels good to you, know where you like to be touched, and it's not even about a sexual thing. It's just, like I said, to be familiar with your body. From what I've noticed, honestly, the most sexually potent women and most sensual women are often hyperkinetic, and their allure comes from body parts that have nothing to do with sex a lot of the time. It seems like they're just charged with that energy all the time. And I can tell you it's because they're probably touching their body all the time. They're aware of their fingers, their elbow, their toes, their knees, and they feel those areas when it's being brushed up against something or another person. I think in order to be a very feminine woman, to be a sexy woman, I think that you need to be aware of your body and how it interacts with your surroundings and with others. So put on your favorite record, turn on your speakers, and just lounge in your skin. Relax, breathe, fall asleep, take a nap, feel your skin, enjoy the body that you're in. The next thing is cook in heels. Christian Louboutin, the genius behind the world's arguably sexiest shoe with the characteristic red bottom, would tell you that women walk differently in heels. They take their time, they're slower. I mean, a very high heel, perhaps 6 inches, that's a handicap to a degree. But there is a reason why heels are sexy. It's not just that your legs look longer. It's also because of how you walk and how you carry the weight on those heels. Now, cooking. You might be saying, what? Cooking? Why? Cooking is just one example. You could even clean in heels if you wanted, run your errands in heels, get your mail, whatever it is. I know that this doesn't really sound very fun to a majority of women. The heels are, in this particular habit, a reminder. Being feminine requires discipline. You can be a slob if you want and just like carelessly throw around your body. But if you're privy, especially to the glamour of being a woman, which is steeped in ritualism, heels are almost like training wheels for femininity. They teach you, if you do it correctly, might I add, if you wear heels, if you walk in heels correctly, it teaches you how to walk, how to move your hips, how to distribute your weight. This habit as a whole. I'm saying cooking because cooking is a little less laborious than other tasks like cleaning or, let's say, running your errands. It's meant to teach you to feel sexy while doing the most menial tasks. A man once told me that I would look sexy doing my taxes because I implement feminine principles in my daily routine, in my daily life. And he notices that. Sexiness, femininity, that's an attitude. It's a way of life. There's no going around it. Once you get into it, that is how you live. If you are a sensuous woman, if you are a feminine woman, every act should exude sensuality, sexiness, femininity. Everything you do. So put on your favorite heels and cook. Add a little bit of grace to the mundane things in your life. Number 3. I'm like counting these, but also just saying them, so sorry about that. Go to a nice bar, dress nice, of course. Have a drink, cocktail, whatever it may be, and read a book. Do it alone. This is a practice of solitude. I talk about solitude all the time on this channel. You need to learn how to be alone. There is nothing less feminine than a woman that needs to be around other people in order to validate her existence. A sexy woman is independent. A feminine woman loves her time alone, needs her time alone. I have so many videos on this, so I'm not going to go too in depth on this particular one, but I'll just say this. If you guys watch Sex and the City, there's an episode, I believe it's called Single and Fabulous ? And Carrie is going through this existential crisis because she's questioning whether she indeed is single and fabulous and whether or not she is validating her existence with partying and materialism and all that. And towards the end of the episode, despite this awful magazine cover of her and these rumors about her life, she just goes to a cafe by herself, sits by herself with a glass of wine, with no book, no nothing, and she just sits and looks out and just enjoys her wine with nobody to join her or anything. And that's exactly what this should be. Being feminine, being sexy is just about loving being with yourself and enjoying your own company. Because if you, like I said, if you need to be around other people, if you need others to validate your femininity, if your femininity is performative, you're not going to go out and sit by yourself, have a glass of wine and stare out into the abyss. You're going to need someone there with you. That's not cool at all. Now, I mentioned this episode of Sex and the City, and they talk about how Samantha earlier in the episode is stood up by a guy and she doesn't have any of her single woman things with her, like a book, like I mentioned in this habit. I just say read a book because personally it is very difficult if you go to a bar and you're just sitting there and drinking a glass of wine. People will often approach you. This is just the world we live in. So I just say bring something to busy yourself, because oftentimes people will try to talk to you or I don't know, fuck with your solitude. I don't like that. If you can find a more strategic part in this bar where you know people will not make eye contact with you or not bother you, then sit there, have a drink, and just breathe and enjoy yourself. But if not, read a book. Don't scroll through your phone. Just don't. And be alone. The next one is, we're talking about something that's a big pet peeve of mine. The fourth habit I suggest that you implement into your life if you want to feel sexy and feminine. Wear your finest clothes in the house when no one else is around. I don't want to hear this whole I'm uncomfortable thing. I don't want you to take your bra off and fling it across the room when you get home and you don't have to be a woman anymore. The more you bow to that small inconvenience, the less sexy you will feel, because it's performative. It's for other people. Clearly, if you just come home and you take off your feminine disguise, dress your best when no one is around. I think it's ludicrous that women will wear, they will wear pretty, sexy, sophisticated clothing outside of the house. And then when they close the front door of their home and their apartment, they just become a hermit and they look like shit. Believe it or not, you can be comfortable and sexy too. Put your hair up into a French twist. Learn how to do that. Don't put it into this heaping pile of gross bun on top of your head and throw on your Skims co-ord outfit or your giant oversized hoodie that has a stain on it. Look nice. Do it for yourself, because there's plenty of research out there that will tell you that dressing better makes you feel better. Learn what looks good on you. If you don't want to wear clothes, put on a nice slip or something. That's comfortable. Just look nice in the house. Look nice for yourself. Being feminine, despite what other people will tell you, is largely about self-satisfaction. And at night, when you go to bed, personally, I hate wearing clothes to bed. I hate clothes getting all wrinkled and twisted around and stuff. So I don't wear clothes. I wear perfume. But if you do like clothes, wear comfortable yet flattering clothes. Wear silky clothes, stuff that makes you feel good, feminine, sexy. Stop looking like a fucking Eskimo before you go to bed. Trust me, again, you can be comfortable, sensual, sexy, and rested at the same time. The last thing is going to be difficult. It's difficult for me, but this habit I think is very, very important. Control the way you talk. I know that sounds harsh, but let me explain. This one I have a really hard time with, again, but just because I haven't mastered it yet doesn't mean it isn't an important habit to adapt into your life. I honestly do not think there is anything sexier, really, than a woman who is articulate, poetic, eloquent. There's more than one reason why I script many of my videos. Perfect language is mesmerizing. It's hypnotizing, really. Try, and stop talking like dudes. Try to stop swearing after every word. Try to prohibit yourself from using those nervous phrases like, you know, And I say try again because I do this all the time. And the problem is the way people speak today, especially in the United States, is very discouraging. If you don't have people around you that encourage a wider, more proper vocabulary, then it's like nearly, see what I just did? It's nearly impossible to adapt a certain manner of speaking. People even look at you funny. They look at you like you're some pompous asshole because you're using a wider vocabulary than they're used to. However, this really shouldn't deter you from trying because, like I said, good language, eloquence is poetic, it's beautiful, it mesmerizes people, it really does. It makes people pay attention to you and it makes you sound intelligent. And if you're in situations where higher language like that is almost intolerable, then just speak very little. Something even sexier than a woman who speaks very eloquently is a woman who speaks very little and observes. A woman that speaks only when it has effect. I have always admired such women, and I myself am compulsively verbose, so I hate that. A conflict that you can also run into, which is one of the more catty behaviors of being a woman, is when you talk too much, you tend to overshare or gossip. Neither of those are good. So try and control the way you talk. People will listen to you more. People will trust you more, take your thoughts into consideration more. And like I said, there's nothing better than just speaking poems on a daily basis and just discipline when it comes to how you talk, what you say, and how you regulate your thoughts, of course. Okay, those are the 5 habits I have for you today. I hope those are helpful to you guys. I certainly implement these in my own life. Some of them are really difficult, simple but difficult. But I think that if you tackle them and you take them seriously, if they're not just performative, if they make you feel happy, then I think that they're very achievable. That is all I have for you guys today. Please do not forget to like and subscribe as usual. Please leave a comment below about these habits or any habits that you have that you'd like to talk to us about. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.